Springtime, a time of transition, the awkward space before adulthood fully arrives. Idle days turn into a void. The weight of unstructured time begins to settle. A premature celebration, the promise of freedom soon overshadowed by uncertainty. A practical chore, but one that feels like a burden wrapped in good intentions. Geography becomes a metaphor, distance between home and responsibility. A task that should feel routine, but now feels eerily empty. Restaurants get rowdy when everyone's there together. Then imagine them empty, quiet, kinda spooky, right? So I texted Mom to let her know I'd stay overnight and head back in the morning. She said that was fine. Reminded me to thank Uncle Rick for letting me stay there, which I did. I made myself some food, scrolled through my phone a bit, then started washing up for bed. Usually during family gatherings, I get jammed into one of those smaller rooms on the third floor, while other relatives claim the nicer ones. But that night, with the house to myself, I figured I'd take advantage. The master bedroom on the second floor had a private bathroom, walk-in closet, and an unbelievably comfy bed. Decision wasn't hard. I knew where I'd be sleeping. Climbed in around midnight. Drifted off quickly. I don't remember exactly when I woke up. Only that something startled me awake. Still groggy, but dead sure it came from the closet. Like something had fallen inside without making a sound. Without moving, I craned my head toward the closet. My mind was wide awake, but my body refused to budge. Like sleep paralysis, except this time, I didn't want to move at all. Didn't want to find out if there was something in there. Then horror. I heard the closet door creak open slowly. Barely opened eyes. A dark figure stepped into the room, just stood there beside the bed, motionlessly watching me. Silently, it turned and left the room. I stayed frozen, barely breathing. The footsteps moved across the floor, but instead of heading downstairs like I expected them to, they creaked upstairs toward the third floor. My stomach churned. Only staircase led up, no exit from there. My mind screamed at me to do something, but I was too scared. Couldn't overpower a grown man. Didn't know if he had weapons. The only thing I could do, wait. A few painful minutes passed before I forced myself out of paralysis. Quietly, I reached for my phone and dialed 911. Whispered into the dispatcher. Ear as quietly as I could, someone is in the house. Slipped out of bed, turned the lock on the bedroom door, then waited. Minutes dragged painfully by until flashing red and blue lights illuminated the windows. Police arrived faster than I expected. Ran downstairs, threw open the front door, and nearly collapsed in relief when I saw them. They didn't hesitate. Stormed inside, moved quickly through the house, then waited outside. Didn't take long. According to them, the house was empty. I was shocked. Heard footsteps go upstairs. Nowhere else to go after that. He must have still been there. No other explanation. Police insisted he must have slipped past me. I'd just been too freaked out to notice. I knew that wasn't true, but what could I say? The guy had vanished, not comfortable letting them leave so easily either. So I called Rick Brick, really, and he snapped at the cops, told them to check again. Said my life might have depended on it. They did, more thoroughly this time. Rick told me to follow them and watch what they were doing, which I did. Officers moved methodically, opening every closet, checking under beds, tapping walls like something was hiding behind them. Pulled back shower curtains in every bathroom, double-checked locks on doors and windows. And that's when they found it, one of the bedroom windows on the third floor. The room I should have been sleeping in, unlocked. One officer stood by. I chose to go out with the officer instead of staying inside. The thought of being trapped with an unknown man was too much. He searched the yard thoroughly, nothing suspicious at first glance. When he turned his light toward the roof, I knew something was wrong. There he was, the same bald, dirty man who had vanished into my home. He looked like he hadn't seen a shower in years. Silent, blank, and utterly detached. They quickly subdued him. Questions flew, but he gave no answers. He was taken away, the mystery unresolved, but the danger contained. I still can't understand. Why the closet? Why not another hiding spot? Mike's home. Beautiful beyond words, even for someone who never had much. I don't know much about the house's past. Just that generations lived here, then fell silent. It has been in the family for years, but now mostly dormant, unused. His grandparents lived here, then passed, and no one has returned since. Now it is quiet. Most relatives live far away, and his parents are busy elsewhere. Renting the beach house was no simple matter. Few people dared to commit during the quiet months. Uncle Rick had little interest in letting the house go. He'd been living there longer than anyone remembered. Mid-July arrived. Mike reached out with an invitation that felt like a lifeline. Nothing was planned, nothing needed to be, just her, the ocean, and a weekend that promised peace. Their plan was simple, just chill, enjoy the shore, and let the world fade away. No parties, no pressure, just two friends, two rods, and a beach that held no secrets. A chance encounter, two girls, a flirtatious exchange, and nothing more than passing moments. Even during off-season, the beach still held life, but quieter, more intimate. He knew where to go. Hidden paths tucked away between houses and dunes, untouched by crowds. They found their own quiet corner, just them, the sea, and the whisper of wind. Morning came too soon, but she was ready to embrace it. She took off, not just to exercise, but to clear her mind and find herself. It was hot, but the sea's cool wind kept her grounded. She paused, not to rest, but to remind herself that this escape was still unfolding. After lounging all day, time slipped by without us noticing. Later that evening, Mike floated the idea of hitting a few bars in Seaside. Thought about it, fun in theory, but waiting in line and yelling over music didn't match how our bodies felt after full sun exposure. Without thinking, I yanked the door open and bolted toward Mike's room with both hands. Jolted him awake and told him to follow me. He caught on immediately and hurried after me, not even bothering to put shirt on as if our lives depended on it. Third floor mostly dark except for moonlight leaking through window at end of hallway. Flipped lights on and started scanning, still expecting smoke or fire, but nothing. Eventually, after painfully long minutes searching, found something tucked neatly under a pillow in one bedroom, small black device. Before calling Mike into room, decided to examine it myself, at first pure confusion. Size of walkie-talkie, all black except for blinking red light on top. Neither of us said anything at first. Locked eyes. I can tell he was just as confused, scared as I was. After a few more seconds of silence, he asked if I'd ever seen that black thing before, said no, and asked him same. Also no. Next hour, tried figuring out what it was, how it got there, and why triggered. No satisfying answers. Mike swore none of his family had been in-house in ages, and I believed him. Why would he lie? Plus, who the hell puts that thing in their own home? Pulled device out and flipped switch on and off. You guessed it, beeping started again, stopped as soon as I turned it off. Both of us froze. Mike whispered, "Oh my God." Thought, hit us both at same time. Only way to operate device was by hand. Someone else was in the house. Didn't waste any time. Mike dialed police while I locked door, barricading best I could. Waited for what felt like forever, until finally, police showed up. Quickly made our way downstairs to intercept them. After giving very brief description of situation, they did full sweep. We waited outside by front door. When they came back down, they told us horrifying thing. Every single window on third floor was wide open, even bathroom windows. Beds flipped, drawers pulled out of dressers, everything on the floor. Room where I found device, completely ransacked. Even though nice and neat when we searched up there, I felt like losing my mind. After being escorted upstairs by officers, had to accept reality. Officers didn't find much else. No one hiding, no prints, no weapons. After another 20 minutes or so, told us to make sure all windows locked securely from now on and call again if anything happened. Then they just left. Mike and I didn't feel safe being in. We had no choice. Told ourselves we'd sleep there the rest of the night, leave early next morning. Still parts I can't explain. Can only imagine how Mike feels right now. What if whoever was there that night never left? Fresh out of college with a desirable job and minimal expenses. Living in childhood home with parents racking up savings without worrying about food or rent. Knew how lucky I was to have parents who let me stay at home rent. Free. No many people don't have that option. What I'm about to tell you happened just 1 month into my time back at home. Never spent every free moment at clubs. Definitely didn't let men dictate life in any way. That's how I was raised. Life pretty routine. Wake up, caffeine addiction, work, gym, read book, mess around on phone, sleep. Lindsay's family is loaded. Both parents neurosurgeons, so I had a feeling that place would be insane and wasn't disappointed. I saw the modern style house when I saw one, and Lindsay must have been ultra-modern because it looked more like a covert military safe house than a personal home. Would love to show you pictures, have plenty, but respect for her family. Wouldn't want poor taste even if nothing happened. 4 of us unloaded stuff and decided where we'd sleep. Lindsay had enough bedrooms for all of us, but why be boring? Instead, we stayed in the same room, one kid's bedroom with bunk beds and attached bathroom. Stayed there 3 nights, which I think perfect amount of time to spend coupled up with anyone other than family. I tend to be relatively irritable. Anyone not clean or polite tends to take me off pretty easily. Not that my friends aren't, but you know how it is. That weekend with friends, that's when I planned letting loose more than usual. Wanted to keep first night chill, so walked down private beach connected to house and sat in sand stargazing. 4 of us drinking White Claws, listening to house music on Sabrina's speaker. Noticed something in distance, a faint flickering light emanating further down shore. All quieted down a bit and watched it flicker on and off. Kinda hypnotic. Eerie as well. After a while became clear that light was swinging back and forth like handheld flashlight someone walking with, and soon realized just what it was, 3 or 4 people casually strolling toward us, not running, stumbling, moving strangely but leisurely pace. As they got closer, started hearing laughter which caused all of us to relax a bit. Considering how late it was, likely group teenagers or even adults their age, must have noticed us because at some point one yelled out high and friendly voice. It was Guy's voice and sounded around our age. Thea yelled back and we made small talk while they walked toward us. As they approached, saw that it was 3 guys who looked maybe a year or 2 older than we were. All had typical beach boy look. She was having a great time, not overly flirtatious, but never boring. She was tired and ready for bed, but didn't want to spoil the fun. She decided not to join her friends. She was heading home alone. A FaceTime call woke her. The world turned upside down. She didn't waste time. Adrenaline surged as she raced to get her car. She sped off, chasing the last known direction. Heart pounding. She saw it, the car that matched Lindsay's description. Her pulse screamed for action. The cops told them exactly where we were. Dispatcher said, "Keep your distance, don't alert them," so I did. After what felt like forever, saw cop lights ahead. The car in front didn't even try to flee. They figured it was just another unrelated stop. Watched everything unfold, pure chaos. Then one officer walked to the trunk, opened it, and there they were, Thea and Sabrina, bound tight, bruised raw. Horrifying. Yeah, but nothing compared to what they saw from inside that trunk. All 3 still comfortable with me writing this. We're still close even now, but none of them wanted to write their own version, for good reason. After I hit the hay, kept drinking. Lindsay remembers it clearest, since she tried to be at least slightly responsible, given it was her family's house. Somewhere along the way, Thea and Sabrina suggested we all split for bed. He got pissed about that, which she first thought meant he wanted to get with her. She told him she'd be down, but had to watch the house, and he flipped. They yelled at each other, ending up telling her to get the hell out of his place and never come back. Halfway home, realized she'd forgotten her purse. That's when she saw them tossing Thea and Sabrina into a car before driving off. She called police, then me, and that was it. Their parents, both lawyers, jumped through dozens of hoops to keep this buried far from public eye and make sure those guys got max sentences. They nailed both. Turns out, the house we were staying in didn't even belong to them. It belonged to some random old couple vacationing halfway across the world. Plus, a whole slew of other crimes they charged them with. They walked away for a long time. Still, think no sentence was long enough. As much as I hate admitting it, this broke me for years. Couldn't handle it. Beaches, late nights talking to strangers, even if they seemed harmless, felt like stepping into a trap. She became antisocial. She drifted away from her friends. Luckily, things started to change. She can't imagine how much this incident affected Thea and Sabrina. A part of her felt that forgetting so much might have been a blessing. The craziest part, maybe if she hadn't gone home, she would have missed Lindsay's car. And without her going home, maybe the police would have never found those guys' car.